Welcome to Besiege Bots, the real home of robotic combat in Besiege. In this episode, we begin the featherweight bracket preliminaries, which will decide our first 4 members of the top 16. Kicking it off, we have last year's 3rd place finisher, Tilted Disaster, and we'll be concluding with last year's runner-up, Cool Boy. Jawspin is an overhead horizontal bar spinner built by the Crunch Bunch who represent Chile. In spite of an 0-2 record, Jawspin's weapon bar is still a powerful force to be reckoned with in this year's featherweight bracket. Up next from the USA, we have Tilted Disaster, an angled horizontal spinner piloted by the team Rickety Androids. Rolling in with a 5-4 record, Tilted Disaster showed what it was capable of by finishing 3rd in SBC 2019. The final entrant is Wasted 3, a horizontal spinner created by Team Overdose from Hong Kong. With a 12-2 record and some serious destructive potential, Wasted 3 will be looking to bounce back from a poor showing at last year's SBC. And we're off with the first fight of the featherweight bracket of this year's Spring Bash Cup. We have 3 very solid bots, good, dangerous horizontals. Jawspin from the Crunch Bunch, not one of the more decorated teams in Besiege bots, haven't had a lot of success to their name unfortunately, but have been around for quite a while, so they are veterans. Tilted Disaster, as mentioned in the intro, finished top 3 in last year's SBC and actually eliminated Wasted in the quarterfinals, which was a bit of a disappointing showing for Wasted considering their ranked record. But they're definitely looking to step it up with this new build for this year. So we've had a few glancing hits so far, nothing too serious just yet. Nothing, I think Jawspin might have lost a hinge or something. Oh, some big shots there. I believe a piece got broken off of Tilted Disaster. It rips a wheel off of Wasted, but Wasted ripped that big chunk out of Jawspin. And it looks like Jawspin might be KO'd, and they're definitely being counted out because they're not showing controlled movement at the moment. Tilted Disaster lose a wheel to Wasted. In the meantime, yep, Wasted is going to get the KO credit on Jawspin there. So that's big. That's good damage points. Wasted looking to get revenge, and so far it's looking really good. Tilted Disaster is going to be very hard to control like that because that spinner is going to hit the ground if they try and turn to their left. Oh, but they bounced up and managed to take off the motor of Wasted. That's huge for Tilted Disaster. If they can get back over, they do. Oh, they get nudged over yet again. Oh, they're trying to self-right. They're having trouble. Their self-right's not reaching the ground. They get back over. Wasted looking to shove them over again. Oh, they're not quite managing it. Oh, something happened. I think Tilted Disaster's spinner actually hit their own self right there and snapped it off, which is a very big danger to Tilted Disaster. Because that means if they get flipped back over, they don't really have a way to self-right. As much as Wasted has lost its weapon here, it's probably actually ahead on damage because they broke off like half of Tilted Disaster and also killed Jawspin, so Tilted gonna have a lot of trouble. They're definitely the less controlled of the 2 bots at the moment. Wasted also decently durable chassis. You wouldn't expect that from such a devastating spinner, but oh, Tilted almost goes into the pit. They just managed to avoid it. I'm not sure if they're even really technically mobile. I think the only reason they're not being counted out is because Wasted keeps hitting them. Yeah, they're definitely not looking like they're showing controlled movement here. They're just kind of bouncing around, like they're not actually driving anywhere. And yeah, they've been counted out, so that means Wasted gets to the round of 16 by double KO, and Tilted Disaster and Jawspin go to the redemption round. The first bot in this rumble is Bloodsaw, a vicious-looking overhead saw built by Team Remarkable from Hong Kong. Bloodsaw only has a 1-4 record, but the builder recently completely redesigned it for this tournament, so it's a complete wildcard heading in. Walking into this rumble, we have Cockobird, two-legged walker with a vertical spinner built by Ad Astra Robotics from the USA. Cockobird would like to prove to the world that legs are superior to wheels and is the only walker in all of SBC 2020. And flinging itself into this rumble, we have the high-octane Tamle 3, built by Team Questionable Engineering from the USA. There's no questioning the absolute power of this high-flying hammer. Currently, Tamle is the top hammer in the featherweight division and 7th ranked featherweight overall. Here we go with fight number 2. We got 3 pretty interesting bots in this one. Bloodsaw, quite a durable saw bot. It's using, I believe it has a crusher setup where the saw acts as a crusher, and it's got this setup where it's kind of a very weak hammer, I suppose you could call it. It can hit things, but it's not really going to break anything off. Whereas Tamle, on the other hand, is a hammer and will definitely break things if it can get a good hit. Cockobird has, it's not a very powerful spinner, but it's capable of throwing other featherweights around pretty decently. But it looks like those long forks, the long blade wedge on the front of Bloodsaw is going to be very difficult, because it can actually get, like, it can stall the wedge on Cockobird, and the spinner isn't long enough to actually hit the body of Bloodsaw. Tamale's kind of just flopping around, not getting any good hits. Oh, that was a decent hit there from Tamle. It looks like Cockobird lost some hinges from part of its chassis. Yeah, I think they're part of the weapon mount. Because it seems like the right side of the face is a little weakened. Bloodsaw kind of pushing Cockobird around. Tamle comes in for a hit. Gets a good hit. Oh, they seem to be stuck together. Okay, they break apart. That's good. Bloodsaw is kind of getting hit by Tamle. Cockobird sneaking up for a good hit. Oh, but the backswing from Tamle actually broke the left side of Cockobird's face off. Oh, and the left side of the face went over the wall, but it's actually still attached to Cockobird. That could cause an issue. It might actually not be able to move too far from where the face is. And it looks like it's kind of stuck in that corner. So it's gonna have to stay near the walls, it looks like. No, okay, it seems to be able to move. No, yeah, it got pulled back there. You can see it can't move too far from where the face is stuck. Tamle got a decent hit on Bloodsaw there, it looks like. Broke off some flying blocks or something. Definitely attacking heavily. Cockobird's kind of just stuck in that corner while the other two ignore him. Oh, Tamle, I think, went Uda on that hit. I think it, yeah, it launched itself out of the arena while hitting Bloodsaw. And with Cockobird kind of stuck in this corner, this is really just not even a fight anymore. It looks like Bloodsaw's maybe trying to get that saw under so they can try and lift Cockobird into the pit. But I don't think they can really even pull that off. I think that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to use the saw as a lifter, but it's just not really working. So they just go back to using the saw, which it's not going to do any damage. Cockobird's kind of stuck in this corner. You can see like it's trying to move, but it gets like pulled back around. It's not a good look, unfortunately. Tamle kind of taking the excitement out of this one by throwing itself out. Yeah, you can see it outside the arena there. So it's really just going to be Bloodsaw kind of pushing around Cockobird. Yeah, they're trying to use, like, back into them with the saw. Yeah, to do that, get a flip, but unfortunately doesn't actually land them the wrong way up. I'm pretty sure Cockobird can self-right anyway with the wings. So I'm not sure how much it'll really do even if they get the flip. They're trying to do something at least to make it entertaining, which credit to Bloodsaw's driver for that. But unfortunately it's just a rough moment for Cockobird. It seems to be stretching. You can do weird things with springs where they stretch a bit further. That's the end of the fight. Yeah, it's a dominant decision for Bloodsaw over Cockobird. So Bloodsaw to the round of 16. Tamle and Cockobird going to be coming back through the redemption round. Li3 is a vertical spinner from the UK built by Team Pilot Light. Li3 has a 4-3 record and is looking to make some headway by going on a win streak during the tournament. Its extremely low wedge will definitely cause problems for anything that can't break it off. Next we have Montante, another vertical spinner, this time from Indonesia's 999 Robotics. Despite having competed since 2018, Montante only has 3 ranked fights totaling to a 2-1 record as a result of switching weight classes multiple times. And finally, we have yet another vertical spinner, this time from the Netherlands, Poison Water, built by Team Dangerous Purposes. They're a new team heading into this year's Spring Bash Cup and are looking to prove themselves against 2 veterans in this rumble. Fight number 3. 3 vertical spinners in this one. We've got the short spinner in Li3, the short wedge spinner. We've got a decent sized spinner in Montante, which uses half pipes, which have better bite. And then we have the tall spinner in Poison Water, which just lost part of the... lost one of the blades on the front. They're not really that important. I think they maybe keep it a little more stable. Nothing too serious yet. No one's really... Oh, Li3 I think got out-wedged by Montante there, which is not good for Li3. It entirely relies on being able to out-wedge, otherwise the spinner isn't long enough to actually hit anything. Montante getting a decent hit on the back of Poison Water there, but it seems like they kind of flipped over them too far for the hit to really crunch down on anything. It's really a lot of jockeying for position. Poison Water was being poorly controlled there. They did get a good hit on the back of Li3 and broke something off there. Montante got a good throw on Poison Water as well. Li3 looking to get onto Montante, but having trouble. Poison Water trying to get in. Decent throw on Montante there. They can't reach Li3 because they're being out-wedged, which is unfortunate for them. Good throw up from Li3 there, getting under the back of Montante. Managing to tip Poison Water over as well. Let's see. Oh, and Li3 gets flipped by Montante. They seem to be having trouble getting up. Yeah, they're having a lot of trouble getting up. Oh, wow, they just barely managed to... Are they still mobile? Their wheels seem to... One side of their drive seems to be broken. Montante is throwing around Poison Water. It seems like Li3 were counted out. I believe the KO credit's going to go to Montante on that one. So we have Poison Water and Montante fighting it out. Oh, Montante caught... Oh, the spinner's broken. That hit broke the motor of Montante. So they're trying to self-ride off the wall, which they can do. Unfortunately, Montante isn't completely useless without the spinner, but they are probably going to get thrown around a bit by Poison Water. Oh, the right mount on Poison Water is also broken, actually, but their spinner is still functional, which is definitely good for them, because they're going to need it to try and rack up any kind of damage and control at the end of this fight. They're having a lot of trouble. The wedge is a lot better on Montante than it is on Poison Water, but due to Montante's shape, Poison Water can still hit it even if it's out-wedged a little bit. Like right there. It actually got out-wedged, but was able to hit Montante anyway. They're getting some decent throws. I think maybe... Yeah, I think the motor on one side of Poison Water is also broken, but the whole motor hasn't stopped working just yet. Which is why it's slowing down so much when it does hit Montante. Or maybe the driver's just doing that, I'm not sure. They're having a bit of trouble staying stable due to the right weapon mount being broken. Montante looking to drive him toward the pit. Good effort by Montante, but Poison Water... They're getting controlled badly there. Oh, that was pretty smart. Managed to backflip over Montante using the weapon. They get shoved over Li3. I think time is coming up soon. Oh, there goes their whole weapon, though. That's going to negate a lot of the damage they managed to claw back by breaking Montante's weapon. And that's time. We'll see how the judges saw it. And aggression and style. Poison Water actually ends up taking that one. Poison Water goes on to the round of 16. Montante and Li3 into the redemption round. First up, we have a horizontal undercutter called Cool Boy from Boybot Robotics out of the USA. It only has a 1-2 record, but has been competing since 2018 and even found itself in the finals of last year's Spring Bash Cup. Next up, we have Larry Jr. It is built by the Diddlers from the Netherlands. Larry Jr. holds a 3-1 record as it lifted its way to victory using its signature wedge and heavy front armor setup. It will be a tough matchup for any spinners it comes across. Wargames is an overhead horizontal spinner built by Team Locrian from the USA. Wargames looks to expand on a 2-1 record and certainly has the destructive capabilities to do so. Many are betting on Wargames to either devastate the bracket or die trying. So we start out the final fight of episode 3. We have 2 horizontal spinners in this one, an undercutter and an overhead, and Larry Jr., which is explicitly built to kind of take hits from spinners, especially horizontals. The son of Longnose Larry, a longtime heavyweight and super heavyweight competitor. He's bounced back and forth, I believe, a couple times. I think mostly heavyweight, though. This one, obviously, a featherweight, so half that size of the heavyweights. Wargames is a pretty reliable spinner, kind of similar to Morgan in the lightweight bracket, in that they're both pretty reliable with not the most power, but still more than enough power to break most bots. Cool Boy definitely a lot harder of a hitter, but a lot more self-destructive as well, which is definitely a problem fighting Larry. Cool Boy kind of getting trapped in the corner there by Larry and bounces out without destroying itself, luckily. Wargames catches the back of Larry's faceplate there. Cool Boy hitting itself a lot when it gets thrown around. Bounced into the wall there relatively safely. Larry is just stuck to the ground. It's really not getting knocked around at all on these hits. Wargames has been able to push it around a little bit, but not too many massive hits. Cool Boy has landed some okay hits, but there hasn't been any real damage just yet. Oh, I say that, right as Cool Boy broke a steering hinge out of its own chassis, it's stuck upside down? Can it drive inverted? I'm not certain it can. They're kind of getting hit around, so they haven't been able to sit still. It seems like they can drive, maybe not. I'm not really sure. They seem to just be spinning in place. They being counted out? Oh, no, they're showing they can move. Larry drives into them. Okay, they didn't get counted out there. Oh, Larry loses one of those little side panels that protects the back wheels. Cool Boy breaks off another steering hinge from itself. Wargames crunching Cool Boy into the wall. Larry gonna push them into the pit, and then that lands them onto Wargames' spinner, which rips out the whole back right side of Cool Boy. I definitely don't think they're mobile now. They were barely mobile before while upside down. They're definitely being counted out. That will definitely be going to Wargames for the KO credit. Which is definitely good damage points, because they're going to struggle to damage Larry too much. They might be able to break one of those back wheels off or something, because they already ripped the side paneling off that protects them, but it's going to be hard for Wargames to cause good damage to Larry. Yep, Cool Boy's been counted out, officially, and Wargames gets the credit. Did they rip a wheel off of Larry already? It looks like maybe one of the front left side wheels is missing? Perhaps? I think that might have happened on the hit that broke the side paneling, actually. Oh, Larry loses its pneumatic self-ride on that hit from Wargames. That was a very interesting snipe. It kind of popped up and landed right onto it. could play a factor if Larry does somehow get flipped by War Games, but it seems unlikely just due to the fact that Larry tends to stay on the ground really well. Larry's getting pushed around a bit by War Games, actually. It's not really able... War Games a lot more stable than Cool Boy, so it doesn't bounce around as much when it hits things. And that's time. We'll see how the scores are. And pretty decisive for War Games on damage and aggression. War Games going to go into the round of 16. Larry and Cool Boy into the redemption round. That's it for this episode. Moving into the round of 16, we have Wasted 3, Bloodsaw, Poison Water, and War Games. Meanwhile, going into the redemption round are Jawspin, Tilted Disaster, Cockobird, Tamle 3, Li 3, Montante, Cool Boy, and Larry Jr. In the next episode, we will complete the preliminaries, and we'll see a returning featherweight champion from last year's Spring Bash Cup, Dippy. We hope you enjoyed this episode, and if you did, leave a like, comment, and consider subscribing. If you're interested in joining our community, follow the Discord link in the description. From everyone in the Besiege Discord, have a fantastic day, and we'll see you soon.